Welcome to Tea with D, where we are drinking in some big life truths along with some tea that's actually coffee and maybe even wine, because this is a judgment-free zone, my friends. And no, John, it's not always wine, even though that's what you think it is. I'm Dr. D. Franey with My Yes Life, and I am a life coach, and I love helping people get rid of the garbage can thoughts that are rolling around in their big, beautiful brains. They're holding them back from living their best yes life. I'm coming to you live today from my aunt and uncle's backyard in Boulder City, Nevada. Hi, Melissa May. And I want to talk to you today about clarity, what it is, why it's important, and how it is the best first step in creating your own yes life. So, clarity. It's all about getting clear on what you want in life. Can you answer that question? What do you want? Why do you want it? And what's stopping you from getting that? Do you know the answers to those questions? If you do, you probably have created burning desire and a commitment towards making it happen. But if you don't know the answers to those questions, you're probably feeling lost, stuck, maybe a little overwhelmed, stressed out, lacking purpose and passion, right? That's some of those things that happen when we don't know what we want or how to get it. And so also the coolest thing about clarity is that it helps you discover the lies that your brain is trying to tell you. It's really funny that a lot of times, most of my clients, when they come to me, they tell me what they think the problem is. And it's usually just a symptom of what the real problem is. And they're focusing on that symptom because of the lies that their brain is telling them about what's really going on. And so, just a few of my clients, I want to talk about, when we work together in my Limitless Life coaching program, the first module is all about gaining clarity. And with the goal of figuring out what is the root of the problem and what are the lies that their brains are telling them. Because once we see the lie, Byron Katie says, we can never make it true again. And so one client, she came to me, she had a super huge goal for a business that she wants to create. And she thought that what was holding her back was her relationship with her husband and his communication style, and the fear that he was going to say no or not back her up in this goal that she has. And really, once we dug deep into clarity and the first module, we really figured out that the problem was not her husband. The problem was not their relationship. The problem was not his communication style. The problem truly was her sense of self-worth and how that was showing up in their relationship and creating blocks to them being able to communicate and her to be able to communicate effectively with him. And so that was a really cool thing that we discovered when we spent some time getting clear. Another client, she is a six-figure earner and she wants to scale her business and take it to the next level. And she was thinking that her problem in scaling was her productivity and just holding herself accountable and kind of being unorganized. And when we dug in and figured out the lies that her brain was telling her, we discovered that the problem wasn't that she was unproductive or unorganized. The problem was that her brain was trying to tell her that if she became more successful, she would become too busy. And if she was too busy, then she wouldn't get to enjoy the things that she really loves in her life. It's spending time with her family and having that balance. And so there was an underlying belief that success equals busy, and she didn't want to get too busy. Another client came to me, and she had been married for 42 years, and her husband had passed away about 8 months earlier. And she thought that her grief, it was what was keeping her stuck and moving forward. And we really discovered that it wasn't the grief. For 42 years, she had been delegating her decision making to her husband. And she was lost because he wasn't there to make decisions for her on how to move forward. And so once she recognized that she needed to take her power back and become the one that made decisions for her life, everything changed. So it's really interesting that our brain will try to tell us one thing when really working together, or even taking time to answer some of these questions and getting clear, you're going to discover something else that's really in the way. And I know this personally from my own journey. I got to a point where I had been working myself to death in this job, working 60 to 100 hours a week for years on end. I was working on my doctorate, and I got to a point where I was just feeling so lost, so overwhelmed, and I was struggling with chronic illness, and I didn't know what I want, but I knew that something needed to change. Something wasn't right. It didn't feel good. It's not how I wanted it to be. I was really looking to everything outside of me to help me feel better, to help me feel successful, to help me feel loved and worthy, right? Like I was delegating feeling loved to my husband. It was his job to help me feel happy and to help me feel loved. I was delegating to my job. I was delegating feeling successful and worthy to earning my doctorate degree. And all these things were external solutions to internal problems. I was giving away all of my power to everything outside of me to try to help me feel better. And it got to the point where I was like getting injections in my spine once a month. I was like searching, desperate for a solution, for something to make me feel better. But really, like the one thing that got me to change was I found the belief that I couldn't live like that anymore. And I couldn't believe that, what the doctors were saying, that I would always be in pain. I'd always have injections in my spine, that this was my life. I was like, I don't want to believe that. It's got to be better. I don't believe that this is the only way. And that's all it took, right? Unshaking the thought that like it was always going to be like this, and I was always going to be stuck, and I was always going to be in pain. I started to say, you know what? No, that's not it. And that was the first step, that decision that it didn't always have to be like this, that made me dig deep and start asking questions, asking myself, what do I want? Why do I want it? And what's stopping me? And so just shaking that up and having that belief that it could be better, it could be different, and even though not knowing what that looked like or what it was all I needed to start moving forward. And so, in my own journey, as well as in working with my clients, clarity is always the first step. And so I hope that helped you today. Dig in. What is it that you want to feel? What's holding you back? So, yeah, take that step, or we could take it together. If you're interested, somewhere around over in here, there's the link. You can book a free mini session with me. I'd love to get on the phone with you and chat about what's going on and what you would like. Thanks, Melissa. Just what you needed to hear. Awesome sauce. You got this, girly. And there's also a link for a free 7-day challenge that is actually designed to help you gain some more clarity if you're not ready to work with me one-on-one yet. So I hope that you are having a lovely Tuesday coming from the very warm sunshine here in Boulder City, Nevada.